I did not expect this short to go as hard as it did. Hello, welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since I made a long form video and I'm very glad to be back. The short I am talking about is the one where I do a little challenge in my mini sketchbook. I've never finished a sketchbook in my entire life. For this year, I had the challenge of finishing one, but then it got down to the very last day of the year, which is December 31st, 2 hours before, and I was like, oh damn, I still have like 17 more pages to go. So I decided to make a quick little video about it and then upload it, and it's at 2.2 million views, 2.3 million views. If you happen to have seen that video, thank you for watching it, or thank you for scrolling past it. Maybe you just didn't care, but somehow you clicked on this video. A lot of people were asking about if I could give a sketchbook tour. I kind of use it as a semi-diary, so I don't necessarily want to share every single page with the entire world, but I do want to show you guys some pages and at the same time talk about the process of finishing a sketchbook for the first time in my entire life. It's kind of sad, to be honest, especially as someone who does enjoy drawing, and I do enjoy like making art, but that's actually what this little sketchbook did. It changed my life. I'm being very dramatic, but it's kind of true. When I first bought the sketchbook, it was very apparent that I'm a European. I moved to the United States in 2010, and I just cannot get used to Fahrenheit, 2 inches, and all that kind of stuff. I thought 4 inches would be about like this. I'm sure there are many men who are very happy to hear this, but then I got this in the mail. I actually love that I got this small book. I started the little book. It says Djamila Nova, January of 2024, and then I gave myself all kinds of little ideas because I was very afraid that I would not be able to come up with things to draw. I think this page is very funny because it symbolizes my perfectionism a little bit, and I really was trying to get rid of that feeling. So I just start the first page with a little self-portrait. I thought it was very ugly, but now I think it's funny. I think it represents my style, and I think it represents me generally. A little different. Then there's some other pages. One day I will have an ear like that. I noticed that every drawing I put in all the effort. I really wanted to make them look good and pretty. Since I was in the US, I decided to draw a US flag and a US mailbox. But at this point, I started to get a little bored with just the same style of drawings, which is exactly the point of trying to finish a sketchbook. You're trying to figure out your style. I had to try something new. So I tried this pattern. I absolutely hated this experience. I like the way the page looks, but I don't like making something like that. In order to combat how much I hated it, I just decided to draw simple drawings. Here is a bird I think 15 cars had driven over. Kind of ugly, kind of cute, but I'm learning to love anything and everything I make. Even if I don't like it, it means that I learned something from it. I decided to see if I could draw a little scene of a girl sitting at the table having to do homework. What I love about this is that I was just exploring. Here are 2 portraits of people I saw on the street. This woman I met at a market, and she had the most gorgeous, amazing peacock earrings. She came up to me, she was like, hold on, I need to appreciate your outfit. So we spent like 5 minutes appreciating each other's outfits. And then I saw this bald guy walk in, and I just thought it was very intriguing looking. Here's where I decided that I really do enjoy using my sketchbook as a bit of a diary. I would just take things that I would see throughout the day and use that as inspiration of things to draw. So here was a guy and he had a dog in the window. I know I can look back and just remember the moment as if you're reading a diary, but I don't like reading my own diaries. I feel like I'm deathly boring sometimes. Here is where I got very sick. I decided to draw what that felt like. I think I did a good job. You can tell that this person does not feel very good, and she has a migraine. Also had a fever. So you see all this heat coming off of my body. So I had to go to the emergency room. In the emergency room, they did an x-ray scan. They said I was pregnant. I wasn't expecting to be pregnant. They also took my temperature, and it turned out it was just normal temperature, but it took 2 hours before they would take it, even though I came in with a fever. And then they decided to inject me with antibiotics, but it went completely wrong. Anyway, good memories, all captured in a drawing. And if I didn't have the sketchbook, I wouldn't have had that memory that clearly, I feel like. I think I was a little inspired by my sick character for the next page. I love when things are just slightly ugly. That is something that I decided to incorporate into my style more. I decided to draw myself from the back, trying to imagine how that would look. I was producing some music here, and here's a lady that was walking her dog. The perspective of the dog and the lady and stuff, not very good. But who cares? It's a sketchbook. And since those few sketches where I was drawing the way I felt, I really enjoyed that. I like a little bit of abstract. It was fun discovering that aspect of me. So I went on vacation. I got horrible food poisoning. This is what it feels like to have food poisoning. There's a lot of throwing up. There's a lot of feeling dizzy and sick and awful. It felt like my hair and my head was just pinching. You don't want to think about food, but at the same time, you're constantly thinking about food because you have food poisoning. I have a cat named rat, and she pooped in the sink. Here's a page that I wanted to fill, and it's a pattern again. Did not thoroughly enjoy it, but I do just like the way it looks. I feel like with art, a lot of people think about the end product only. That works in a commercial setting, but it does burn you out very quickly. So sometimes you just have to enjoy the process, and sometimes you just have to push through a little bit, and it's okay for both of those to exist. I'll just flip through and show you some pages that I really enjoy looking at. I think this one is really funny. It's me feeling the heat. At this point in the sketchbook, we are in August. This is where a lot of things change for me. It's the moment where I decide I am an artist. I really do enjoy making these drawings. I love making music, and I've been doing it my whole life, but I've never taken myself seriously. I realize I've been stuck in that, oh no, you're falling. I realize I've been stuck in that process for many, many years, and I needed to break down being scared in my head. What was I really afraid of? And so here is the first page where I kind of gave myself a little affirmation. Don't be afraid. It says, not everyone will understand your art, and that's okay. And ironically, the moment I dismantle this fear, I create something that I actually really enjoy. Also, just generally enjoy drawing people. Apparently, I really like drawing bald people. I have a lot of bald people in my sketchbook for some reason. Here, I decided to draw a funny little baby. I'm finally trying to experiment a little bit. I'm okay with making something that I will not enjoy, but I have to play. I have to try it in order to figure these things out. And I realize also at this point, a lot of the time when I set my pen to the paper, I feel like it's a waste of paper, and that is such a toxic mindset to have. That is basically admitting to myself that I'm not worthy of using up any paper, of taking up any space. I really liked this one. It's kind of like an inception drawing. It's me drawing on a sketchbook on the toilet, and you can see me holding the sketchbook on my lap on the toilet. Here I tried channeling a little bit. I really like the idea of using up these pieces of paper to just come up with symbols and patterns and things that I can use, elements for other drawings. And not every page has to be this beautiful product of something. It can also just be a process. Here's where I started experimenting with a different type of character, and then I started having trouble with my pen. I said, the pen is crying. What, dear pen, are you sad about? This was me in the process of turning something around and going with the flow, because I was getting very annoyed at the pen, like making all these little blobs. But maybe it was just trying to tell me something. Here's some more of these characters. I think they are so funny. Here is one of my little characters, and it's Gracie Abrams. I saw her wearing this super sparkly dress, and I wanted to see if I could create something sparkly and a little self-portrait that kind of looks like me, but also kind of doesn't. And I wanted to go for a completely different style, but at the same time, I feel like it also kind of screams me. Towards the end is where I was really struggling with finishing. I just didn't believe in myself fully, even though I was really working on the mindset. There was this little voice in my head that felt like I wasn't worthy of finishing the sketchbook, and so I really procrastinated. I think I left these pages open for a solid 3 months, but that is where I decided to give myself 2 hours to completely finish it. Here is where I started the challenge. If you've watched the short, then you will probably recognize these. Then I spent way too much time drawing an actual scene on the couch. We're flying into the new year, of course, that is what was currently going on. Then I started running out of inspiration, so I decided to draw Chapel Roan in my little funny character, and I was eating a Noka, a little smoothie pouch, which is very delicious. I was watching Prison Break at that time. If you're looking for something to watch on Netflix, I would recommend it. I decided to draw what I was feeling at the moment. That's when I started to get into a flow, which was really fun to feel. I was craving ramen, so I decided to draw ramen, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm making a video at this moment. How funny would it be if I drew myself making a video? And that was the last page. Happy 2025. I wanted to end it with some text, even though it felt at the moment like I was cheating a little bit. It doesn't matter. The point is, this sketchbook is a representation of what I feel, what I think, what my mind is. I would love to know if you have ever finished a sketchbook, or if this video has inspired you to start one and hopefully finish one as well and discover yourself in the process. I can't wait to talk to you guys and hear from you guys. Right now, it feels a little bit lonely just talking to the camera, but it was a very fun journey. So thank you so much for watching.